Okay guys, this is Jughead82. I have a review for a wrestling game. This wrestling game here is, of course, one of the most pretty decent wrestling game. Well, I'm going to give you a review of Fire Pro Wrestling Returns. Now, let's kick this review off. Okay, let's get this review going. This is Fire Pro Wrestling Returns. It was created by Spike Company. Great video game. The first thing I want you guys to know is this is not your typical wrestling game. The graphics are not 3D magnificent like the SmackDown vs. Raw series, but what makes this game fun is the gameplay. Now let's go through a couple of the options and so forth. You have an edit mode, and this is a really good thing for this game. You can edit anything from the rings to the wrestlers to even the referees. This is a very good feature. The options, you have, of course, your basics. You have your stereo and so forth, and all those little things like that. You have data, which shows your data information on your game and so forth. Game modes, you have exhibition, tournament, league, which you can kind of like, if anybody remembers the Monday Night Wars, you can create your own federation and you can go against another federation and so forth. Team matches, which is kind of like tug of war matches and so forth. Battle Royal, which is also a great match. Title matches, you can create your own belts on here also. And Matchmaker, where you're basically the promoter and you get to promote the matches and so forth. Let's go and go to exhibition. You have a couple of match options on here. You can make these matches as diverse as you want. You have cage death match, which is you can have a cage match with weapons all in a cage. Barbed wire death match, which kind of gives me an ECW feel when I play it. Landmine death match, which is explosives in the match and so forth. These two right here deal with UFC as well as Pride Fighting. Great game. And Gruesome Fighting, which is another match kind of like an octagon. We're going to just go for a normal match. As you can see, you have more settings and options. You have, of course, you can set the blue corner players and counts and so forth. You can choose the arena, the ring. Also, another thing, like I said, you can customize. I've customized a couple of rings. We're going to go and fight in let's fight in a WCW ring. Old WCW Nitro. Choose your referees and so forth. Alright, let's go and get this baby cracking. Like I said, one thing about this game, it has a lot of wrestlers, 200 plus wrestlers. And I might be lost a count to say even 200, but here's a couple of wrestlers I've created. If you play this game, you'll notice some of these wrestlers have familiar moves as well as their identities. This guy right here, of course, is Giant Bubba. Of course, Japanese legend. Like I say, the Fire Pro series started in 1989 by the Human Entertainment. The first game they had was Fire Pro Combination Tag. Let's go and get a wrestler real quick. Let's see, I got a Fed I created, the WWF Fed, Andre the Giant Styles, and so forth. Let's get the Macho Man Randy Savage. MNC 122703. Shout out there, buddy. And let's see, let's have him fight. How about we mix it up? Have Savage face Sting. There were other games to have the Fire Pro license, but unfortunately for the U.S., we didn't get too many Fire Pro wrestling games. We had one for the GBA, which was Fire Pro A, which was basically supposed to be the first one for the Game Boy Advance, and Fire Pro Wrestling 2 for the Game Boy Advance. We had a couple other, imports, guys who can get it from Japan and whatnot. Well, other than that, Fire Pro Wrestling Returns is like the first U.S. kind of release kind of Fire Pro game, which was on a console. Let's go and get to the match there. What I like about this game is, like, of course, the playability. As you can see, this is my WCW Monday Nitro. I created this on a stencil program they actually have on the game that you can create different rings and so forth. Macho Man Madness, yeah. The Stinger says it's showtime. Playability wise, as you can see, the way you grapple on this game is basically you go toward the wrestler and you automatically grapple. It's a little different than the wrestling games you're used to. And believe it or not, the Fire Pro series has stuck with this method of gameplay for years, but it works fluently. You go for medium moves on this game with the block button, the weak moves. And for like medium attacks, you go for it using the X button. For your power moves, you're going to use the L button. Like I said, this is a really awesome game. Gameplay speaking all the way. I've created a bunch of different types of wrestlers on this game so far. If you go on the internet and you look for like Fire Pro Wrestling fan sites and so forth, you'll see that from what I've done, it's nothing compared to some of the stuff some of these guys have done, whether it relates to creating the ring as well as creating the wrestlers. You have guys on there creating a whole roster full of wrestlers and so forth. Finishers are usually executed with the block and X button on this game also. You might think it's a little tedious to hit two buttons at the same time to go for a finishing move, but it kind of works pretty decent for this video game. Of course, one of the other Fire Pro Wrestling games that were actually released back in '95, I believe, was for Super Nintendo. It was Fire Pro Wrestling Premium X, and great game. I've had a chance to play it. Of course, it's not a U.S. release game, but like I say, all in all, still a great game. If you haven't played it, I suggest playing it also. Stinger, you think you can beat me? Yeah. It's going kind of fast forward a little bit to the ending of this match. See what we can do in this match, because of course, you gotta have a certain time. Time to finish him off with the diving elbow drop. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Like I say, guys, the graphics, of course, they're not, spectacular and whatnot. But what makes the game great is the gameplay, the customization, and so forth. There are many match options on here. Like I said, so many wrestlers to choose from. Like I said, if you have a chance to find any Fire Pro Wrestling game, not just Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, I suggest picking it up. You won't be short. You won't be spending your money for nothing. Trust me. But like I say, this has been another review. Hope this review was informative as it relates to this game. Please comment. This is Jughead82 signing off.